Da, 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 da. Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it. We test it. You play it. And now it's time for us to blow off some steam, as Aperture Gaming is proud to present a boss review. Now, I had originally wanted to do this game for my October Halloween review because of the spooky elements involved. But, well, was busy that month. So here it is. It's a little better late than never. Now, before I get into this review, a couple of things. For starters, this game is, I'd say, is rated M for mature. There is violence, suggestive themes, including references to drug use. So yeah, it's definitely not for the kiddos. Now, the interesting thing is, while playing this game, it reminded me of 4 other games. It reminded me of a mix of Max Payne, The Secret World, Alan Wake, and Control. Now, I played this title, and like I said, when I was playing it, it made me think of those. And so, what is this game about? What's it like? What is this game in general? Well, let's get into the review, shall we?
Series.
The name of the game is El Paso Elsewhere, and as far as I can tell, it is not a sequel, a prequel, or an in-between-quel. It is its own standalone story.
Team.
This game was developed and published by Strange Scaffold.
Plot.
You play as James Savage, a monster hunter and recovering drug addict. And I'm wondering if there is some direct correlation between the two. Anyway, James has to go fight his ex-girlfriend, Dracula. Well, that is her official title now. Her plan is she intends to unleash the forces of evil upon the planet. Yeah, so at the El Paso, she is opening a portal which is breaking the laws of time and space and physics and summoning paranormal creatures. And you have to fight them off using a variety of firearms and stakes. And to help heal yourself, you have to use medication.
Gameplay controls.
The game is a third-person shooter. So you see behind James' shoulders, you see the weapons that he uses. You travel from floor to floor in the El Paso, and you can break furniture to gain stakes. You have to explore around to try to find weapons, ammo, and medication. You fight off the vampires, the werewolves, and all the other creepy stuff that's happening in this place. And you have to explore around because, like, it's not always a direct way forward. You have to look around to find parts that are keys to open specific doors that are color-coded. And you have to rescue victims that are in the potential of being sacrificed for this otherworldly ritual. You have to be careful because the sacrifices, if you don't save them, if you accidentally shoot them, they are dead. Or if you don't get to them in time, in some instances, they will be killed by the enemies in the game. I would say it's not really a platformer, since while there is a jump function, it's mostly for jumping, dodging, and there is bullet time effect. So yeah, it kind of covers. So this game has the earmarks of the games that were mentioned at the start before we're getting into the main part of the review.
Graphics.
The graphics remind me kind of PS1/PS2 era. So like the environment looks pretty nice, and the skybox is really funky. But like when you see the characters up close, like James himself, he speaks, but his mouth does not move. His mouth and face and head kind of a low poly count. I'm not sure if this was a if this was a style choice that was made this way, but I think I read how this game is kind of going for a noir effect, so I'm guessing they're focusing more on the combat, the story itself. But yeah, so interesting graphic setup they have going on here.
Audio.
James provides narration of his story throughout the game. There's some cutscenes that happen, and then while in the game, he's like, "Cool, I found ammo," or "Take that," or "Man, I'm good." There's also, yeah, like I said, the game has foul language, so definitely mature. And the audio is what? So like, when you're not doing too much, there's some like ambiance in the background, and you'll think, "Oh, something's coming." So yeah, there is sound effects of that, but there's also like a soundtrack that plays, and every location you go to has different soundtracks. So it provides a different music variety, and I like it. It's very has a very good beat to it, very good melody, uh, and there is a soundtrack to this game. Also, in some floors they have like hidden radios to add more audio effects to the game.
Multiplayer.
No, there is no multiplayer.
DLC.
Yes, there is DLC. Like I mentioned, there is a soundtrack, and there is a DLC where you play as a different character who checks into the hotel and then has all this shenanigans unleashed on him. So, yeah, I think I'll be looking at that later on. But yeah, so there is two different kinds of DLC for this game.
Issues.
Technically wise, I don't think I encountered too many. There was like one area where the audio was a little funny. I can't tell if that was what the game was supposed to do, or if it just cut out because of technical issues. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, but not really technical issues. Other issues are, I guess, if you were concerned about his face, the way it looks, graphic-wise, that might be a thing. You can restart the levels if you want to. You can replay a chapter. If you exit, then you lose all the progress you made. And right before you start each chapter, if you go back and manually select a chapter, or when you first start the game, you can adjust the settings like how fast does the healing happen, or how many heals you can have, or if you want the game easy, medium, hard, change all the settings for that. So while there's a few issues here and there, nothing game breaking, nothing really serious.
Buy, rent, or pass.
Like I said, this was originally going to be my Halloween episode for this year, and it caught my interest. Like I saw a trailer for it somewhere, and I was so interested, I went and bought it. So I recommend it. It's an interesting game, and it's interesting to see how it's all four of these titles meshed together. So I'd say El Paso Elsewhere is a solid buy.
Overall score.
Yeah, so the game I'd say is fairly interesting. Interesting story. Um, it reminds me of like four other titles, and combination of so many elements: melee, gunplay, bullet time. Yeah, so I like this game. I find it enjoyable. It's interesting how you're able to tweak the settings before you play the levels when you go to the chapter select. And they have a theater mode so you can view the cutscenes that you've watched. So, you know what? I'm going to give El Paso Elsewhere a solid 10 out of 10. There's a few nitpicks here and there, but overall, when I played the game, I enjoyed it. I was annoyed how I was surprised when I found out that when I accidentally shot a hostage that they died, and then I found out that they can be killed if the monster gets to them before I do. And I was like, okay, that's annoying, but I guess that's why it's a game, a challenge, something to compete for. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Give it a shot, and yeah, so yeah, give it a shot. That's all the time we have for this episode. I'm glad I'm starting to get back into this. So we only got a few weeks left before the end of the year, so I'm going to try to get some more games played, and I'm also trying to get ready for the end of the year review. I hope to see you around then also. Well, until next time, this has been Test Subject 1337 for Aperture Gaming. I'm glad we got a chance to blow off some steam with a boss review. Until then, until next time, thank you for watching, game on, and have a nice day.